What's going on, African world? It's Own Team here. Welcome to the first episode of my animated African mythology series. This will be one of many. I'm really excited to dive into the rich and forgotten stories from across the continent. Our team has put in a lot of hard work to bring stories like these in animated form. So if you like this series, be sure to support the home team on patreon.com. The link is in the description box below. Nyamayango, king of the underworld, decided to try to form an alliance with a king on earth and sent messengers to Isaza. The messengers came and asked the king to show them 6 things: that which brings the dawn, that which falls short, that which binds water, that which causes kings to turn, that which has no wit, and that which ends sorrow. The messengers withdrew, and the king consulted his advisors, but they could not make out the riddles of the messengers. Isaza summoned wise men from all the region, but none could explain these things. One day, as his queen came worriedly from consultations of the ministers, she talked to her maid and told her of the challenge from Nyamayango, and in a moment, the young maid said she could solve the riddle for the king. So the king and his ministers met with the maid, and she showed them what it meant. She had a baby placed on the king's mat, and the baby crawled about and dirtied the skin and overturned a water container. "There," said the maid, "is that which has no wit." Then she showed them a dog with a tobacco pipe and fire. The dog could not light the pipe, but sat there. "There," said the maid, "is that which falls short." Then she filled a pot with water and set it boiling, and then placed it in some millet, and after a time the millet had absorbed the water. "There," said the maid, "is that which binds water." Then she led them outside and showed them a rooster. "There," she said, "is that which brings the dawn." Then a cow mooed nearby, and the king turned to see it. "There," said the maid, "is that which causes kings to turn." She told them also of that which ends sorrow, but that secret has been forgotten. So the king's counselors revealed the maiden's answer to the messengers of Nyamayango, and the messengers explained their king's desire for an alliance with an earthly ruler. The king proposed that they should become blood brothers, each eating a coffee bean soaked in the blood of the other. But Isaza thought about this and became wary of the offer, and so gave the bean to a servant rather than eating it himself. Nyamayango learned of this deception and was humiliated to think that he had formed an alliance with a human servant. So he planned destruction for Isaza. First, he chose the most beautiful and deceitful woman in his court and dressed her in wonderful finery. Her name was Nyamayata. She came to Isaza's court and easily won his attention and then his heart. He wished to send messengers to her kinsmen to formalize their relationship, but she refused. She wished him to come with her, but he was not willing to leave his kingdom. She persisted. One day, however, they were together when the herds of cattle were brought in from pasture, and the king stood admiring them and didn't even notice when Nyamayata went from his side, and hardly heard her when she called him. Then he said he could not come because he wished to watch the cows being milked. Realizing that she could not compete with his cattle, Nyamayata withdrew into the underworld. There she gave birth to a son. Nyamayango had discovered his weapon. He sent a pair of magnificent cattle, bull and cow, to Isaza, and Isaza took them and loved them. He spent all his time with them, even bringing them into his royal residence at night. But one night, the cows vanished. The next day, he went hunting them across the land, and he found their horns sticking up from a bog. He leaped in to try to pull them out, and found suddenly that he had fallen through the earth and was in the underworld. There, he was brought before Nyamayango, and while at first he was treated well, eventually, Nyamayango reproached him for having tricked the king of the underworld into an alliance with a mere servant. Then, Nyamayango gave the cattle to Isaza, as well as his wife and child who were there, and told him he was free to leave, but Isaza never found the way out of the underworld, and so was forced to wander. This was the end of the kings who were gods. If you like these videos and want to continue in its animated production, consider supporting the home team on patreon.com. The link is in the description box below.